I'm not going to pay for that wall. He should pay for it. He's got the money. It worries me this last caucus in, where was it, Nevada?
Nevada.
In Nevada.
He won 44% of the Hispanic
44% of Hispanics. I'd like to know who those Hispanics are.
Joining us right now in a Fox Business exclusive is the former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox. Mr. President, thanks so much for joining us.
Maria, it's a pleasure. Good morning there in America.
Yes, well, you said that you are not going to pay for that wall. Donald Trump says Mexico is going to pay for that wall. Give me a reaction to what Donald Trump has been saying and about his victory that we continue to see over and over again in these primaries, sir.
Let's start by what he requested, an apology. I'm not going to apologize for all these stupid things we've been hearing from him that really have offended Mexico and Mexican people. And Joe Biden, Vice President of the United States, just came to Mexico, and I quote, a lot of damaging, incredibly inaccurate rhetoric, dangerous, has been called by Biden. He says he feels almost obliged to apologize. This is Joe Biden, to apologize for some of my colleagues who are campaigning that what they have said about Mexico and the Mexican people. So there's one thing, and the other one is business. I mean, this guy is incredible. He's done so much money. I don't understand how. But I can tell you, he doesn't know a little bit about macroeconomics. He doesn't know about history. He doesn't recognize what NAFTA is all about. This very solid partnership that we have built together, three economies, Canada, United States, and Mexico. And he should learn that Mexico buys from United States over $500 million US
right.
worth of trade. And that this is what he should consider. Building a wall is stupid. I mean, you go against your own interests.
Yeah. Well, you say that he doesn't know about macroeconomics. What he says is he knows about who's coming over the border. And he says drug dealers are coming into the country. He says killers are coming into the country. Let me ask you, what are you going to do then? And what should Mexico do then to keep the border safe?
He has to prove that. Crime rate in the United States is very high anyway. It is not provoked by migrants. We have this case today of those killings there, and every other week we have those killings. So crime is within the United States veins and roots. And this is why he should learn a little bit about what's going on. September 11th, one guy said that it had come from Mexico, that very awful, terrible event. It did not come from Mexico. We're a good neighbor of the United States. We are partially responsible for making that economy as strong as it is. We're partially responsible for having saved from bankruptcy General Motors, Chrysler, Ford, just 5 years ago.
Right.
The taxpayers had to pay for that. And only until they came and set as NAFTA Corporation, they do part of their work in Canada, part in United States, and part in Mexico. And that's what gave them the opportunity to survive. Otherwise, the foreign automobile industry will be totally dominating the markets. Consumers are paying much less for the products that are being manufactured in Mexico. And he says he wants to tax them. What is going to happen with General Motors, with Ford, with all those that create so many jobs for U.S. citizens there in the same United States? Who is going to harvest the apples in the state of Washington, if not the Mexicans?
Yeah.
Who is going to harvest in California, or who's going to be in the construction industry in Texas, in Nevada, which, by the way, 40% of nothing is nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think you
no
make a lot of good points, but you say, look, I'm not going to. Donald Trump heard what you said, that you're not going to pay for the F wall, and he said, look, he owes me an apology. He's not backing down. He's responding to your comments, and he spoke about them in last night's Republican presidential debate. Listen to this, Mr. President. I'd like to get your reaction right now. Listen to this.
And the wall just got 10 feet taller, believe me. It's got 10 feet taller. I saw him make the statement. I saw him use the word that he used.
He says the wall got higher. Mr. President, what's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is more stupid. I mean, that's a wrong thought. Migration should be handled in a different manner. That's why we have a proposal, a bill in U.S. Congress presented by Senator McCain, long time ago, that solves and makes the case of migration a positive issue for the United States and for Mexico. So, I mean, it's not taking the stick and attacking everybody, attacking the Pope, attacking the Mexicans, attacking the Muslims, attacking women, attacking migrants. That's not the way to go. That chair, the chair of the President of the United States, is so elegant, is so full of power that only people with intense reasonability, with intelligence, and with compassion have seated in that chair. I mean, this guy is out of the world. He thinks that by building a wall, which is only a consequence of the fear he feels inside, he feels fear. Only those who feel fear build walls. He said that the Chinese wall was many more miles longer than the U.S. wall. Well, I want to tell Trump the Chinese wall did not work against their enemies. The Berlin Wall built by Russia, the dictatorship, did work against freedom. So he's absolutely wrong. Just the concept of wall is terribly, terribly misleading.
Right.
I will invite this guy to withdraw from the race, to go back to business, to his business, and forget about what is a nation, what is a presidency of a nation, what is macroeconomics, what are going to say all the global corporations. Let me tell you, the Fortune 500s, 40% of Fortune 500s have been created by migrants, by foreigners.
Yeah, no, I think you make a great point. I think you make a great point on that. But, you know, Donald Trump will push back and say, look, I'm leading with Hispanics. Look what just happened. Look what just happened in the caucuses, right? Now, you say you want to know who these Hispanics are that voted for Trump in the Nevada caucus. Why? Why do you want to know who these Hispanics are?
I know who they are. I visit them every time I come to the United States. They're wonderful people, working for people in the service industry, in the construction industry. But in the polls, numbers are so low, so very, very low, that 40% of nothing is nothing. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have the Hispanic community. He doesn't have women. He doesn't have all the lies that he's telling in TV. I'm surprised not of him. He can be whatever he wants. That's his choice. But I'm surprised of those 40% Republicans, followers of Trump, that a Trump, which is a false prophet, that is taking them to the desert where there's no water. I mean, this great nation cannot be taken on a different path than what it is. America is already great. It's the greatest nation in the world. It's the largest economy in the world. And together, NAFTA, Canada, United States, and Mexico, we are the largest consumer bloc in the world. Where is he going to sell the products? He complains about General Motors and Ford building plants in Mexico. He's built Trump buildings everywhere in the world. Yeah. So he's inconsistent, he's erroneous, he is egocentric, he is arrogant, and he is vain.
Well,
So
you know what? Something is happening. Something is happening with the people because he's still in the lead in America for the presidential race right now. And you know, everybody who comments on it, it seems like it helps him. For example, he's talked about China. Now the Chinese are upset. Right? The Chinese say, you know, we're watching Donald Trump. You're speaking out. You're saying, look, I'm watching, and he's this and he's that. It ends up helping Trump. Do you think your comments right now are ultimately going to help him because the people of America are going to say, or his supporters are going to say, good, Donald Trump is impacting people and he's, you know, getting noticed?
Yeah, he's talking about the two largest trading partners of United States. He's not talking peanuts. China and Mexico are the two largest trading partners.
Which is why he thinks he's going to be successful and Mexico is going to pay for the wall because he knows Mexico needs the U.S. when it comes to trade, just the way the U.S. needs Mexico.
I have to say we're not. I am not going to pay for that fucking wall. I am not. And he should know that. And I'm not going to apologize. On the contrary, a real public servant, Joe Biden, Vice President of the United States, he said in Mexico, I have to apologize for this guy. I mean, it's not credible. I mean, the debate yesterday is so poor compared to democratic debates. I mean, spending hours attacking each other without contents in their proposals. Debates are to make proposals and not to attack each other and not to be presumptuous, arrogant, and say, me, and the rest go to hell. This is not what United States need. In that chair sat President Washington, President Jefferson, President Reagan, all this Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Kennedy. I mean, that chair is for sensitive people, for people that has reason, that thinks, that has compassion. That's the most important word.
Yeah.
This guy says he's evangelical. Well, she should start learning a little bit about compassionate things.
Yeah.
Evangelicals are promoters of love, promoters of communication, networking, team working, and especially spirituality. This guy is a material mass of 80 kilograms of body. No intelligence, no spirituality.
Very quickly, Mr. President, how would you characterize the drug trade, the crime in Mexico right now? As far as security is concerned, have things improved in the last couple of years or not?
Yes, it has improved by 30%. Now crime rate in Mexico is down from 28 with President Calderon. Took it that high. When I finished my government, it was 9. 9 crimes out of each 100,000 inhabitants. Calderon took it up to 28. Terrible, that war on drugs.
Okay.
A total failure. And now it's down to 18. But the case here is as long as that huge, that drug market in the States continues, the problem of drugs will continue.
Right.
United States should advance to legalization. All these issues, Trump doesn't know nothing about.
Mr. President, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. President Vicente Fox there. I want to apologize to our viewers right now. We were not expecting the president to curse the way he did. We apologize. This is live television, and it did go out on the air. We'll be right back.